Politics in Washington also affecting tech deals. We think. I mean, let's talk to Steve about it. Cloud security startup Wiz rejected that $23 billion takeover offer they got from Google just a week or two ago. The CEO telling employees in a memo they'll return to the original plan of pursuing an IPO, including antitrust concerns as a reason for walking away from the deal. Steve Kovac, I don't please.
Must be tough to turn down that kind of money.
Walk us through this.
Yeah. So look, this is kind of a win for the DOJ's Jonathan Kanter, the FTC's Lina Khan, and let's just toss JD Vance in there as well. A source told CNBC Wiz stepped away from Google's $23 billion offer because it was concerned regulators are going to block the deal. Instead, it's going to continue with those plans to go public. Now, that's exactly the kind of thing that Kanter of the DOJ and Khan of the FTC want to hear. Even after losing some cases, they also say their aggressive stances against mergers have caused many companies to think twice about making those large acquisitions in the first place. Instead, they'd rather see the smaller companies stay independent and go public, as Wiz intends to do now. In a 2023 letter to Representative Thomas Tiffany, Khan wrote, quote, "The fact that the FTC's work is driving this type of deterrence is a real mark of success," end quote. Now, an example of that, NVIDIA tried to buy ARM Holdings for $40 billion, and after that deal fell through, ARM went on to have its IPO, now has a market cap of about $175 billion. Wiz is privately valued at about $12 billion, so Google was offering a hefty premium, nearly double that current valuation. Rappaport told his staff in a memo it was hard to turn down that offer because the IPO is still going to be the plan. Now the question is, Kelly, how big is that IPO going to be now that we know what Google wanted to pay for the company?
Why did this happen so quickly? Here's what I don't understand. It's not like 6 months passed or there was a change in it. Nothing changed. Nothing. Maybe you could argue the only thing that happened was JD Vance becoming vice president or Harris.
Or the CrowdStrike thing could have been a little bit. The CrowdStrike outage may have played into it a little bit, saying independent from Google. Another thing that could have happened is investors wanted more. They think this company is a real winner. The CEO also said in his memo they're running on an annual revenue run rate of $1 billion this year. So, that's what they're targeting, rather. So they think there's a lot more room to grow. So maybe the investors are saying, hey, $23 billion is nice.
Right.
Let's go for 100.
Right, but it's not like the IPO market has been that exciting.
That's exactly it, too. And, I mean, ARM was a good one that I pointed out. So it's been a funky time for – and, by the way, the CEO was on our air a year ago, and he said the exact same thing. They're looking at the market. They know the timing is not that right now. And they're clearly looking at this deal and think they can go more. Yeah,
that's fascinating. Do you think that this tells us something? So if this is what they wanted as a bolster acquisition, does that reveal a weakness? Is the company going to have to try to cover
You mean Google?
In another way?
They've already bought Mandiant as a cybersecurity play. We're just seeing them. So much is hinging on the Google Cloud. We're going to hear more about those results this afternoon, and so much of that is tied to AI. But as we learned last week, these cybersecurity companies are incredibly important to the cloud companies. Microsoft has its own product. CrowdStrike before last week was, well regarded in this space, and this is another one that people really like and respect and think that has a good product. So we'll see. I mean, Google really needs to have more cloud offerings in order to compete better. They are competing with, Amazon and Microsoft to a degree, but
I just wonder, does it put other cybersecurity companies in play, or was this one unique? I mean, should CrowdStrike arguably even be in play at a big discount? Yeah. And if you take it into an existing company, maybe you don't have to deal with the reputational aspect as much. I'm not sure.
That is super unclear. But again, these regulators don't like seeing these kind of, at least the current regulators don't like seeing these kind of deals. They want these companies to thrive on their own if there is a path forward to that. We see that happening with Wiz, or potentially more so than other startups.
Yeah, so, and I just wonder if they peer around the corner and say, well, no matter what happens in November, we might not get that much more friendly of an administration.
Cybersecurity, it doesn't matter what administration is in power. It's important, and every company needs it.
Absolutely. Steve, thanks so much. We appreciate it. Steve Kovac.